Good morning, good day, whatever time it is in your day, in your life, welcome. My name is Mike. This is Roger. What's going on, Raj? We got you blocked a little bit. Sorry about that. Hiding back there. Being quiet as usual. And welcome to the intentional acts of self-care. And maybe it's been a few days since we've met and talked, and life gets busy, right? And maybe we get drifted away from the program or whatever self-care things that we may have been practicing. And can we allow ourselves to forgive ourselves and just allow ourselves that grace and kindness to just come back home and to sit, to reflect, and that maybe we got a little off track, and that's okay. And sometimes in life gets busy, and that's okay. So today we're going to talk about how maybe sometimes that is what happens, that we get a little off track, and then we start to feel that darkness or something is setting in. I can tell that I'm going in the direction that I don't want to be going in, and I need to come back and to come back to the light. And I want to mention there's a quote that I had seen and read in a reflection. We're going to talk about a little bit about yoga. We're going to talk about the yamas and the niyamas of yoga, and we have a practice coming up this evening or this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And if anybody is interested in joining me, we're going to do a gentle yoga practice, and we're going to discuss one of the yamas and probably more of yoga. So the practice of ahimsa and nonviolence, and starting with bringing that nonviolence toward ourselves and how that can ripple around us. And just the same way as when I'm being violent or abusive or doing things for myself, toward myself, that are not healthy, how they can ripple, and that goes around to everyone else around us. Right? So the quote is from the Indigo Girls that says, "Darkness has a hunger that is insatiable, and lightness has a call that is hard to hear." And I'll say that again. Darkness has a hunger that is insatiable, and lightness has a call that is hard to hear. And what do we think about is that, or me personally, that society just screams a lot of darkness and unhealthy. It wants to pull us in like a magnet. Like, think about that magnet that just pulls us in to unhealthy activities and thoughts and actions of whatever it is. Gossiping, just keeping ourselves busy in a schedule where it has this idea that taking time for ourselves is being more lazy, or we're not being productive if we're not out doing things and staying busy. And what I learned is the opposite is true, that taking that time for ourselves and pausing and resetting, reflecting, sitting down, and coming back to our practice is what gives me the energy, that positive energy and that light. And I just thinking about this, they say that chink in the rock, or that little bit of light that comes through maybe a little crevice in a couple rocks that it's just hard to see. But if I am open to seeing something and open to the light, it's very hard to see, but we can use that as that small magnet to just be open to seeing that light. And that's where I want to be, and that's where I want to go. So we talk about having a to-do list, right? And what are we going to put on our to-do list today? So let's go back to the basic foundations of where we started this challenge, and some of the things that's come up for me personally is to love. So to love ourselves. And I will say this, so I'm going to put this out on public social media, that my ex-wife was correct. She was right. We had a disagreement at one time that love is not an action, it's a feeling, was my personal thoughts. Stuck by them, and she was adamant that love is an action. And as a result of my not being loving and acting loving, was the result of a failed marriage, or we can debate failures or not, but that relationship ended. So today, being in other relationships, I can tell she is correct, and I know that love is an action, that I need to continue to love myself and to put that loving action into my relationships with other people and my children and my current wife and even my current ex-wife, that everything is a loving action, and that's how relationships are healthy. So I have to do loving things. I have to do loving things for myself, and as a result, that love ripples around to everyone else around me, whether they want it or not. And if they don't, it's okay. I can still bring that love into myself. So we want to create this emotional balance, because we talked about being off track. And if I can recognize where I'm off track, I'm off balance, I can bring that balance back in, right? So what do I need to create this emotional balance? And starts with love, starts with non-violence, it starts with being aware that I'm getting drawn to the dark and that I want to be drawn to the light. Right? So what do I need to do to get drawn to the light and continue and notice these things? That everybody is going to be different, right? And maybe I need to bring in these concepts of humility or kindness or letting go of the past. I can let go of the past. I can let go of the old ideas that I used to have, and I can learn from those things, that I can learn and bring those in, to learn, to grow, to love, and to take that action, send that message out to whoever may need to hear it. I don't know, but I feel it's a disservice to not put that message out there, right? So what do I need to do to create this emotional balance, to love, to learn, to grow, to head towards the light today? So we're talking about being towards the end of this challenge. We've been doing this challenge for self-care for 28 days now. Have we created a little bit more of a routine? Have we allowed ourselves a little bit more grace to make some mistakes and to come back? Can I just show up sometimes when I even don't want to show up, that I can show up, and sometimes I need to do the opposite things of what my will and my selfishness is telling me to do. That's the darkness that's drawing me towards something, to do something, and that I can avoid or not listen to that so much, but be drawn towards the light to do the opposite. And there was going to be a lesson on opposite day, right? like SpongeBob, you know, and everything's drawing me towards the darkness. I'm going to do the opposite and go towards the light, right? So one thing we can do is always draw everything right into the breath, and we'll do a small breath practice and bring that attention to the breath as we sit and we pause and we give ourselves this grace and this light. Maybe we can start to let everything settle, send those shoulder blades back. Use the exhales to release and let the shoulders relax and the neck relax. Let the mind relax, that maybe all these thoughts that are going on in our head at the moment can just pause. Just drawing that attention to the breath. Not trying to change the breath in any way. Maybe just start to notice where the breath is flowing throughout the body. Maybe start to intentionally send that breath down to the heart and start to maybe bring one hand to the heart. And as that breath comes down to the heart, we imagine we're filling that heart with love, with balance, with hope, with whatever it is that we feel that we need for today to put ourselves on that right track, to bring ourselves back home. And we fill the heart with that. On the exhales, we release and we let go. Maybe letting go of any darkness, any negative thoughts, any judgments. Just continue to inhale that light on the next breath, to send that in down towards the heart. On the exhales, we release, we let go. Welcome ourselves home, send those hands together. Bring those thumbs to the heart center, taking that nice deep intentional breath in to send that love, that self-care, that non-violence in towards ourselves today. And on the exhale, we bow. Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. Everybody have a super day, or don't.